Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the start of another weekly vlog. Right now I'm in front of my doctor's office. I just left my appointment. I just turned 29 weeks pregnant yesterday. If you've been watching my vlogs, you would know that this pregnancy is a high-risk pregnancy. My last two pregnancies were high-risk pregnancies. I just got some good news that my baby is right on track. She's looking super healthy. She's in 33rd percentile. Usually my babies around this week is when they start to show that they're not growing properly, but this baby is she's measuring perfectly, so I'm so happy. The doctor was like, this baby's gonna be completely different, don't worry. She was like, you look so much more relaxed this time around. I'm like, I am. This baby is cooperating. I'm eating. I'm the heaviest I have ever been. I just got on the scale. I know I'm like fully dressed and stuff, but the scale said 160. I have never in my life seen 160 on the scale. So clearly me and baby are eating good, so I'm super happy about that. Both of my previous pregnancies, my babies had IUGR, which is an intrauterine growth restriction, so they're born super tiny. My first pregnancy, my firstborn, he was only 4 pounds 5 ounces. My second pregnancy, she was only 5 pounds 6 ounces. This pregnancy is going to be completely different. I'm going to speak this into existence. I'm going to have a full-term, perfectly healthy baby in the correct percentile, no IUGR, no delays, no nothing. Yeah, I feel really good about this pregnancy. Yeah, she said that there's a possibility that she would let me go all the way to 40 weeks as long as my baby is cooperating. So 40 weeks pregnant sounds crazy to me, because for my first, let me start hitting out. I gotta go run to the grocery store. But for my first pregnancy, I gave birth at 37 weeks pregnant, and my last pregnancy, I gave birth at 38 weeks pregnant. So going all the way to 40 weeks is crazy to me. But yeah, she said she wouldn't let me go past 40 weeks. I am super happy. I feel really good. This week, what do we have planned? I'm actually starting this week off in the middle of the week. It is Wednesday. The babies are home right now with my husband, with Braylon. I'm gonna run to Publix by myself real quick. I like this Publix over here because they have my Reese's cups, my vegan Reese's cups here. But I feel so good. Like, it feels good to not leave these appointments with bad news. If you ever gone through a pregnancy where you had complications, like you understand what I mean. Like, I would leave those appointments so devastated and so feeling so defeated and like, what am I doing wrong? It feels good to be told like, you're doing something right. Keep doing what you're doing, because whatever you're doing is working. I love that. I love to hear that. But my doctor, she was like, oh, you look so pretty today, like you're glowing. And I was like, girl, because I put on makeup today. And she's like, oh really? I see the lip gloss, but that's not all natural. No, girl, I literally put on makeup today. I wanted to look decent, because these people be seeing me looking my worst. But I'm like, I feel good, so let me go in looking, somewhat put together. I still got on my little, band tee, leggings, uniform, but at least I put on some real sneakers instead of some Nike slides. Oh, also, I got to see the baby in 3D. I didn't purchase the pictures because I'm cheap. I'm not paying for that. But I got to see, and she's so beautiful. I mean, it's hard to, really make out all the features in those little 3D ultrasounds, but she was so cute. She had full cheeks, full lips already. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, who does she look like? I don't know who she looks like. In the last ultrasound, I thought she looked like her sister, Aura, but now I don't know. I hope she comes out looking just like me. I hope, because my last baby looks just like my husband, and my baby before that, he looks like a mix of both of us. But let my husband tell it, and he thinks they both look just like him. I'm excited to see what this baby looks like. I feel like me and my husband look so different. We just don't know how our babies are gonna come out, Our skin tones are so different, our hair textures are so different, our facial structure is so different. So the only thing that's similar about me and my husband is the fact that we both had huge gaps and overbites. So that's like inevitable for our kids. Like, all our kids gonna have gaps. But other than that, we look so different. So you never know. And we have a lot of hair, both of us. He has like long, thick hair. I have long, thin hair. So I'm just so curious to see how she comes out, I'm so ready to have her. Like, obviously I want her to stay in here and cook, but like I cannot wait till she's here. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. At first, when I first found out I was pregnant with her, it was a shock. I definitely was not prepared. I was not prepared for that news, but yeah, I'm super excited now. I guess this is just how my life was supposed to play out. I was meant to be a mother of 1 boy and 2 girls. I cannot wait. I'm about to go to Publix with no list. I don't know what do I need? I don't even know. Why is there so much parking? I mean, I'm not complaining, but I'm just wondering, where is everybody at? But yeah, I'm just about to run in the store real quick, grab a few things. I'm not trying to do too much because I'm by myself. Now I hit the shopping cart. Okay. That little beep is annoying. The little sensor from the car. Like, bro, I'm not gonna hit. I can see. Alright. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back in the car. I'm done with my grocery shopping. I should have timed it because I feel like I did that super fast. But we didn't need that much stuff, but we did run out of a few important things that we needed. But I did pick myself up an Olipop and my plant-based Reese's. If you've been watching my vlogs, you know that this is like my main craving this pregnancy. Ooh, Lord. It's my treat. I'm treating myself because my baby is growing perfectly fine. She is right on track. Like, y'all don't understand how happy I am. They had me drinking these nasty behind protein shakes. So in this vlog, I really want to talk about my past 2 birthing experiences. I think I'm gonna sit down at some point during this vlog and really go in depth about my experiences, because everybody's birth experience is so different. I feel like it would be helpful or just informative if I, talked about my experience, similarities, how they were different, what it was like for me giving birth while having a high-risk pregnancy. I will definitely talk about that in this video. I'm about to go home and just chill. I would love to go for a walk. I'm gonna ask Braylon and see if he would be down to go outside for a little bit. It doesn't even have to be for long, but just a nice little walk, because it's been a minute since I got a walk, and the closer I get to the end of this pregnancy, the more I need to keep moving. I really need to start drinking my red raspberry leaf tea. I have not had any all pregnancy, so either tonight or tomorrow I'll make like a big batch of it so I can drink a couple cups a day, because I know I'm only 29 weeks, but by the time I get closer to my due date, I would love to not have to get induced. So by the time I get closer to my due date, I want to be fully ready, prepared, my body ready to do it naturally this time, because I've never not had an induction. What is wrong with this car? This car is all in my lane. Oh my god, are they drunk? I need to get away from these people. Yeah, I really want to know what it's like to go into labor by myself. Have my water break by myself. Have my water break by itself. He just ran a red light. What is wrong with this car? Oh my god, he's gonna hit somebody. What was I saying? I really want to know what it's like to go into labor by myself. To experience, my water breaking, the contractions, timing my contractions, all of that. Like, I want to experience that. That's how I always imagined my birth to go, and it just hasn't happened for me. And I would love to experience that. So we'll see if I'm able to do this by myself. Okay, so in 10 weeks I'll be 39 weeks pregnant. So in the next 8 weeks, around 8 weeks from now, I'm gonna do all the things that they tell you that you need to do to induce yourself. Do all the things, all the safe things. People are driving crazy. These people right here are driving crazy. Oh my god, is that the same car? Y'all, what is wrong with people? Oh my god, get me away from these people. Oh my god, get me away from this car. I'm scared to pass them because they're driving so crazy. I want them in my sight. I don't want them. Watch out. I don't want to go ahead of them because I want to be able to see them at all times. If you ever spot like somebody who's driving crazy on the road, just always keep them in your sight. Those are the worst people to have behind you. I want to know why they're driving so crazy. Who is in this car? I don't want to pull up next to them. This right here makes me so happy. Y'all have no idea. It's really giving me my Coca-Cola fix. I haven't had Coca-Cola in 4 years now, and this is doing it for me. I used to have a serious Coca-Cola addiction when I was a teenager. Go. Oh my God. They're going so slow now. Get me away. Get me away. I think he's elderly. Oh my God. Something's wrong with him. I hope they get home safe. It's like an older gentleman. I have a good feeling that this whole experience with this pregnancy is going to be a lot different. It started off a lot rougher than my first 2 pregnancies, but it's ending on such a better note so far. So yeah, I'm very optimistic that this is gonna go smoothly. It's gonna be my healthy baby. Oh my gosh, yeah. I can feel it. Because I've already had 2 high-risk pregnancies, all my doctors that are taking care of me are obviously on high alert when it comes to me. So I'm very closely monitored, and I think that is playing a big role in this, a big part in this. So yeah, I feel really good. I feel like I'm being taken care of and checked on. 2 of my doctors are black women. My main OBGYN is a black woman, and my high risk doctor that I've been seeing for the last 2 pregnancies since my first pregnancy is a black woman. So it just really puts me at ease, because you know what I mean. Like, if you're black, or if you're a minority, you know what I mean when someone who looks like us is taking care of us, because we know how black women are treated in the healthcare system. Nothing that we go through is taken seriously. Our pain isn't taken seriously. Yeah. So I don't care what anybody says, it's been proven time and time again. So I hope that none of you guys have experienced it, but it is happening. So it feels really good to be taken care of. I'm back home. We're about to go for a walk with the babies. They're bringing me, Aura's bringing me my shoes. Thank you, Mama.
Say hi. Mama.
Go ahead, say hi. Here.
Hi.
Hi.
Aura, we gotta put on your shoes, Mama. But yeah, so we're about to go for a quick walk, just around the neighborhood, get my steps in, and then we're gonna come back upstairs and eat dinner. We got leftovers. Last night I made curry lentils.
My bike outside. That's bike outside.
You wanna ride that one? I made curry lentils, mashed sweet potatoes, jasmine rice, plantains, and what else did I make?
Cornbread.
And cornbread. We had a plant-based dinner last night. Everything was vegan. It was good. That's like one of my go-to meals, but I haven't made it in a minute. So yeah, we're about to... What? You a dog? Alright, we're about to go for our little walk. I'll talk to you guys later. Hey guys, it's Friday. I did not film all day yesterday. I got Bray here with me, obviously. We got the crew. We're on our way to the mall right now to pick up some pajamas for Aura, because she's outgrowing her pajamas, her sleepers.
We're sleeping.
She's sleeping? Okay, I'm sorry. We're sleeping. And we're going to a first birthday party tomorrow. So the mom said that her baby also needs pajamas. So it's so funny that her baby is turning 12 months tomorrow, and Aura is 14 months, but he is way bigger than her. Like, way bigger. But I think we're gonna get them in the same size though, right? 18 months? Because everything she wears right now is 12 months. Yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna go real quick. Okay, so we're back home from the mall. We just went into 2 stores. We went into Target and we went into Marshall's. I'm gonna do a quick haul of what we got. Okay, from Target, the babies needed some plates. So we got 3 plates for them. Because we only have 3 plates right now for them, and I'm constantly washing their plates. Thank you, baby. Next, we bought a Llama Llama red pajama. That's what it's called, Llama Llama red pajama for the 1-year-old's birthday gift. And then we got these Go macro bars. They were surprisingly a lot cheaper at Target than they are everywhere else. And we got the baby some bubble bath. We got some, Bray Bray requested this on our way out. So I got some of these. I'll just stick them in their baby bag for tomorrow. Just applesauces. And what else did we get? And vegan mac and cheese. So that's everything from Target. We were in and out. It was real quick. And then from Marshall's. Did I say we went to TJ Maxx or Marshall's? We went to Marshall's. And for Aura, we got her this pajama set. It comes with 2.
Those are mine?
This is a short
And that's Johan's
set.
Yeah.
It's super cute. This is the long pants set.
It
It says Daddy's Girl. I think that's adorable. And then this one is for the birthday boy. Braylon picked this out. See you in the morning. Also for the birthday boy. That's cute. And then I found this for Aura. They didn't have a huge selection. So this is the only onesie set. I got her the wrong size. It was on the wrong hanger. I gotta take this back. Or I'll just save this for the new baby. Yeah. So Aura only got 2 sets of pajamas, but this can be for the next baby. Bray Bray got some socks because he outgrew all his socks. Your feet getting big, boy. Yeah, so that's everything from the mall. But before we were leaving and going to Target, Aura fell and busted her lip so bad. Right before we have to see a bunch of people this weekend. My poor baby, she was bleeding so bad. She busted the bottom lip. She was dancing. She was doing a new dance move that I'd never seen before. It was like a spin move with like one arm to the back. And she, did you see it?
Yeah.
And she completely just face planted and just hit her her lip on the tile. Bring her so I could show it. It looks so bad. These are nice. They're cute. They're kind of small, but they're nice. They look better than the ones that they have already.
Let me grab this place, Papa.
Give it to Daddy. And she also like got a little bruise on her chin. Let me see if you can see it. You see her bottom lip?
She's trying to
Can you take the? Can you take that? I don't know if you can see it, but oh yeah, look at that. My poor baby. Aww.
Yes,
Poor baby.
Here's your pickle.
You can't see how bad it is, but she bled all over her new shirt. I had to take it off of her and try to salvage it so it doesn't stain. But yeah, it was bad. She didn't want us to hold ice on it, but the swelling went down. This definitely doesn't look.
No, it looks straight.
Yeah, it doesn't look as swollen, but it is bruised.
I gotta clean it.
I noticed it's bruised right
Clean it.
there.
Okay, come on.
You hurt your lip, Aura? You fell down? All right, I'll talk to you guys later. We're about to eat our fried pickles, right? Are they good? Oh, look at your little lip. And today is hair wash day, so we gotta do that after they eat. So that should be fun. Aura is like really easy. She does not mind getting her hair washed, but this one, oh my god. Good morning. It is Saturday. What time is it, babe?
8:47.
It's 8:47 in the morning. As you can hear, Bray Bray already has tons of energy. I'm just about to make breakfast real quick. I'm just making them some biscuits. I think we eat this like every Saturday morning. It's quick and easy, and I know they'll eat it. I'm about to make spray latte. I'm gonna make me a matcha latte. Cause your girl is tired. I made a Sleepy Girl mocktail last night with some cranberry juice. And this, my friend had given me this when I first got pregnant. It's magnesium. When I was like really, really sick and had bad nausea. Okay. Say hi.
Hi.
Yeah, and I had bad nausea. She had given it to me, but after a while it was making me feel worse. But I wanted to try it again to see if it will help me sleep, since my insomnia is so bad at night. But I took half a dose, and I don't think that was enough. I don't think so. So I think I'm gonna try it again and see if I can get it to work for me, because I need sleep so bad. Alright, we're just now finishing setting up for breakfast. Bray cut up some fruit for Bray Bray. Ora's getting biscuits. Hey guys, it's a little bit later. It's 11:40. I just got an Amazon package. We've just been chilling around the house after we ate. I just got a package. And it is a new tripod. I needed this so bad for my camera, because my tripod, I'll show you when I take the camera down. Yeah, my tripod is annoying, and I broke my tall tripod. This one should be able to go from short to tall. I like it better already, how compact it is. Where do you put the, what? Oh, does this screw off? What the heck? That's where the camera screws on. I should read the instructions, but where the heck are the instructions? Because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Yo, am I slow? Oh, okay. So this is to hold my phone. So these open out. This holds the phone like this. Okay, okay. How do you open the tripod? Oh. Look at that. So it opened up like that. Perfect. It's like the perfect height. So I can stop cutting my forehead off in videos. That's really nice. Let me put the camera on there. Oh my god, that's so much better. This is so much better. But yeah, this is my old tripod, so like it was always so hard to get it stable. I had to like really play with these things every time I wanted to get it in a good position, and then obviously it doesn't elongate. So yeah, this new tripod should make my life so much easier. I am so happy. And then I can make it shorter. Let me see. Oh my god, this is so much better. And now I have you up on my desk. Oh, I love it. I'm so happy. Money well spent. I really needed that. Now, excuse my bed. I didn't make my bed yet. But I'm going to get ready early. We're not leaving until around like 1:30, but let me start now so that I'm not the last person getting ready. I can just focus on the babies before we leave. Look at these grays. Your girl is getting so much gray. I'm getting so many gray hair. Okay. I wonder if I'll ever be the type to like dye it black. I don't know if I care enough. We'll see how bad it gets in the next couple years. But right now, it ain't that serious. Yeah, let me just get ready real quick. We're gonna be outside, so I don't gotta put on too much makeup. I'm just gonna do a light makeup so I'm not hot and sweating. My clothes aren't even clean. I don't even know what to wear. Somebody's at my bedroom door trying to get in. But I said in this video I was gonna talk about my birthing experience. Let me put you on this side. Yeah, I said I was gonna talk about my birthing experiences and the difference I had between both pregnancies, both experiences. So yeah, as you guys know, I've had 2 births so far. I've given birth twice so far, and then I'm pregnant with my 3rd. And for my first pregnancy, it was pretty similar to this one during the first trimester, where I felt really sick, but I was working. I was definitely more sick this time around, but it was tough working and feeling sick and trying to hide my pregnancy with my first. As my pregnancy started going along, around the 20-week scan, they referred me to a high-risk doctor because they saw that I had, that Bray Bray had calcifications in his heart. So they wanted me to get rescanned at about, I think it was 24 weeks, to take a look at his heart and see if the calcifications dissolved, because it is common to have calcifications, I guess, and it's usually never turns into anything, but they just have to be sure. So I went to the high-risk doctor. They did the scan. Bray Bray looked perfect still. He was, so in his first anatomy scan, he was about 20, he was like in the 50th percentile, okay? So when they checked him again in a month, he was still in the 50th percentile, and the calcifications looked like they had dissolved, but they couldn't really get a good enough look at the heart. So they said the appointment was taking way too long, so they said, okay, come back in a couple of weeks. It may have been a full month. They said, come back and we'll rescan and see if we can get a better look at his heart. So I did end up going back, and when I went back, the calcifications on his heart were completely gone. But they also noticed then, at that appointment, that he was not growing properly. Oh, I missed a big part. When they originally sent me to go to the high-risk doctor, it was for his heart. But while I was waiting for that appointment, my thyroid hormone test came back showing that my levels were too high. So they were saying that I may have hyperthyroidism. So when I went to the high-risk doctor for the first time, like I said, at about 24 weeks, she said, okay, we'll keep checking your levels, but they don't look bad enough for me to refer you to an endocrinologist or for us to do any further treatment when it comes to your thyroid. So I was like, okay. And then she was like, did you have a history of hyperthyroidism in your family? Have you suffered from hyperthyroidism? And I said no. And she was like, well, you look like you have symptoms of hyperthyroidism. She was like, you have big protruding eyes, stuff like that. And I was like, no, this is just genetic. Like, my family got big eyes, okay? And she was like, well, do they have thyroid problems? I said, no, they don't. This is just how I look. So anyways, yeah. So that appointment, they did some further testing with my thyroid, and they were like, okay, it's nothing that needs to be treated right now. So fast forward again, like I said, I went back like a month later to have his heart rechecked, and that's when they noticed that he was not growing properly. His abdomen circumference was too small, and he was measuring in a concerning percentile. I don't remember the exact percentile because now this is years ago, 3 years ago. And so they said, okay, we're gonna have to recheck you. We're gonna have to recheck you in another month and see how his weight progresses. So when I went back in, his growth had slowed down even more, and he was even smaller. So she told me she wanted me to take protein supplements to try to get him to gain more weight. And also, when they took my blood pressure was reading quite high. And when I say high, I don't mean anything severe, but it was pretty high. It was like in the 130s over 80s, I believe. Like I said, I can't remember exactly because this is so long ago now. So my blood pressure was really high, and I started having a panic attack. But the lovely lady, the lovely ultrasound technician, she talked me down from a panic attack, like a full-blown panic attack, which, if you suffer from panic attacks, you know that it is hard to come down from a panic attack. But somehow she soothed me, and I was able to come down, and I calmed myself down. And the doctor came in and said that she was concerned about my blood pressure, and that from now on she wanted me to track my blood pressure at home, but that she was also sending me to the hospital. Since my baby was so small and my blood pressure was high, she still wasn't concerned about my thyroid, but she wanted me to go to the hospital to be screened. So she wanted me to go there to be screened for preeclampsia and to have steroid injections to help develop his lungs. So at this point I had to be around 32 weeks. Okay, so I went to the hospital. I was terrified. My husband met me there. They did an NST test, which is a non-stress test, to see how well he was moving around in there, which he was doing fine. They had me collect an insane amount of urine to make sure that I didn't have preeclampsia. They wanted me to stay the night in the hospital because the urine tests had to be taken over a 24-hour period. My camera just overheated. I don't know why it's been doing that lately, but that can't be good. But anyways, I was saying that they wanted to keep me overnight because the urine tests had to be done over a 24-hour period, and the steroid shots that they give you to develop your baby's lungs, it's 2 shots and it has to be done 12 hours apart, I believe, or 24 hours apart. So they were like, we're just gonna keep you overnight. And I'm like, I really don't want to stay in the hospital. I do not. Can I please just go home? And they said, okay, we'll ask your OB and see what they say. So my doctor said that I can go home. So they let me go home. I had to do the urine sample, take the urine sample at home, which was crazy because you have to keep it refrigerated or on ice. So I had a huge gallon of urine in my fridge. It wasn't fun. But anyway, so I went back to the hospital. I got the second shot, brought in all my urine, everything was fine. The doctor wanted to see me again at, I believe, 34 weeks. So I went back to see the doctor at 34 weeks. My baby was still too small. I believe at this point my doctor wanted to see me every week. So the baby would just get checked. 1 week they would just make sure the baby's moving, the baby has enough fluid, stuff like that. And then every other week she would check the growth of the baby and make sure that he was still progressing well known. Okay, so I also was seeing my regular OB. So fast forward to 36 weeks, I was still recording my blood pressures at home, and my blood pressures were reading even higher. So I remember the morning of my appointment for my regular OB, which my doctor actually was at the actual hospital where I was supposed to be giving birth. My blood pressure that morning had read 160/90, something around there. And when I went into the doctor, it was a super quick checkup. The lady took my blood pressure and it was extremely low. It was 104/60. And I was thinking to myself, that's weird. But it was one of those old school non-digital blood pressure monitor things. So I was like, okay, that's a little strange. And my doctor was like, everything looks good, okay, I'll see you in a week. And then I was like, hold on a minute. What is considered a high blood pressure reading, and when should I be admitted to the hospital? When is it serious enough to be admitted to the hospital? Okay, and I must add that I had a very sweet OB. I remember I really liked his personality. Some things he did was questionable because this was during COVID and his whole office refused to wear a mask. But I was like, okay, I kind of hate masks too, but I'm pregnant and just want to be on the safe side. And he was working in the hospital, so they were even under a semi-lockdown at the time, and they still chose not to wear masks. But whatever. I guess that's besides the point, but it kind of shows you how off that office was, okay? So he was like, okay, if your blood pressure goes anywhere near 160, or if it's over I don't remember the number, but he said, I told him what my blood pressure read that morning. He said, nope, that's way too high. I'm gonna send you over to labor and delivery. And I'm like, okay, so I don't know what type of reading they gave me when the nurse did it, but whatever. So I just walked down to the labor and delivery, told my husband that I was going to get checked out at the hospital. They took me back to triage, and when they took me back to triage, my blood pressure was still insanely high. So because of that, they admitted me, and they wanted to, hold on, my camera is about to overheat again. Hopefully it's cooled down enough. But yeah, like I was saying, they admitted me to the hospital, and I think by the time they admitted me, my husband had gotten there. So they kept checking my blood pressure every 4 hours, and it was still high. They wanted to induce me, and I said, I really want to hold on to this baby as long as possible. Is there any way that I can keep this baby in me until he's full term, which is 37 weeks? And they said, well, if my blood pressure cooperates and they keep me in the hospital on bed rest, I should be fine. Now here's the kicker. The hospital is in COVID lockdown, like I said. Okay, the hospital, like, once you're in the hospital, you cannot leave. And I'm not talking about the people admitted to the hospital. I'm talking about guests. You're not allowed more than one guest, and once that guest is there, they cannot leave. So he had to call his job and say, I am so sorry, but I am stuck in the hospital. So luckily, you know, our bags were packed. He was able to bring us everything that we needed, and we didn't know how long we were about to be in the hospital, but I knew that it could be a while. So we brought everything that we could, and we practically moved into the hospital. So it was 5 days before I was gonna turn 37 weeks pregnant. So I was like, let me just hold on till 37 weeks because I don't want to deliver early. I'm already having a small brain baby. I don't want him to be premature as well. I wanted to avoid a NICU stay. I just did not want my baby to go to the NICU for obvious reasons. I wanted my baby with me. So they were doing scans on me, doing NSD tests daily, making sure that I'm contracting and that the baby is moving. Yeah, that's what it's for, to make sure that the baby is moving. But yeah, it also monitors your contractions. So we did end up making it all the way to 37 weeks. And I think the day that it was Friday that I turned 37 weeks and he was not cooperating during his NST tests, my blood pressure was still high. The nurses were all advocating for me, and they knew that I really wanted to keep him in there. So they did a lot of convincing the doctors of letting me go longer. They were so sweet. They really looked after us like family, especially one specific nurse. I hope I get to see her again one day because she was the absolute best. And she was the main one who was talking to the doctors. She was the head nurse, and she was the main one advocating for me, saying that she wanted me to make it to 37 weeks, give me a chance, like give the baby a chance. So yeah, it ended up working out. I made it to 37 weeks. They decided to induce me because he wasn't cooperating on his NSD test, and my blood pressures were still too high. So they moved me to labor and delivery around 2 p.m. and they began my induction. So the method that they chose to use for Brave Brave's induction was the balloon method. If you don't know what the balloon method is, I suggest you go and Google it because I really don't have it in me to explain. But basically, they manually are dilating you. So they gave me Cervidil, which softens the cervix, and then they used the manual balloon to dilate me. While they were doing all of that, they were still monitoring my blood pressure, obviously. So now I'm on an automatic blood pressure monitoring thing that constantly goes every 30 minutes, I believe. My blood pressure was going way too high, and my husband just texted and said that he is putting Aura to sleep. Hopefully she falls asleep. She usually goes to sleep at 1, but we do have a party to get to, so we're trying to put her to sleep earlier. Oh, she turned 15 months today. I cannot believe she's 15 months old already. But anyway, back to the story. So the nurse says to me, your blood pressure is way too high. I have to let the doctor know. Hopefully he will just put you on a blood pressure medication and you won't have to go on a magnesium drip. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I don't know what a magnesium drip is, but yeah, cool. See if he can put me on medication. She comes back in and says the doctor did agree to put you on medication, but I'm so sorry. He's gonna have to put you on a magnesium drip as well. And the look on her face, I could tell that she did not want me on the magnesium drip, and I just did not understand why. So I was like, what's so bad about magnesium? Like, I take magnesium supplements, like, what? And she was like, oh no, this is completely different. And I'm like, okay, well, Okay, it overheated again. But I was saying I didn't understand why she looked so sad about me going on magnesium drip. She explained to me that it's completely different. Basically, I'm gonna be out of it during my laboring process and the whole day after. When she told me, I didn't fully comprehend what she meant. But as soon as that magnesium, and then she said, and you're gonna be on bed rest, you won't be able to get up, and you'll have to get a catheter. And I was like, for some reason I was terrified of getting a catheter because I had been taught how to put a catheter in back in high school, and I was like, no, I don't want a catheter, please. And she was like, okay, let me ask the doctor if they'll allow you to go without a catheter, but you will have to pee on a bedpan every time you have to pee. I was like, I'd rather do that. Okay, so they put me on the magnesium hit. I was completely out of it. I could not focus my eyes. I was completely drugged, just out of it. Could barely hold a conversation, just in and out of consciousness is what it felt like. I was just out of it. That junk is strong as hell. I was drugged. So they also put these inflating like things around my legs that would inflate and deflate in order to help the blood circulate so that I do not get a blood clot. So I had those things on my legs. I had the balloon dilating me. They gave me Cervidil, and I was on a blood pressure pill. So my blood pressure was doing good, obviously, because I'm on this magnesium now. And I don't know, the timeline is like all over the place because at this point I'm completely out of it and I have no concept of time of anything. Braylon has to update everybody for me because I am just completely out of it. So finally, on all that, my contractions start to hit and I'm like, oh, these ain't nothing. Like, I can handle this. Baby, that first contraction, real contraction hit me. And remember, I can't move. So I'm just laying down. I can't move. There's not much that I can do to help me through a contraction. I felt that first contraction and right then and there, I just threw up. I could not hold it. I threw up as soon as I felt that contraction. I was like, oh shoot. And I was trying to go into this natural. Like, I was open-minded. Like, I was like, okay, if I need pain medication, I'll take it. If I need an epidural, it is what it is. I'll get an epidural. I wasn't completely against it, but my plan was to go all natural. Like, you know, that was my dream, and I really felt like I could do it. But when I felt that first real contraction, girl, all that went out the window. All of it went out the window. And I was like, give me the drugs now. And I said, and while you're at it, go ahead and order me that epidural. No, I didn't say that. I was just like, give me the medication, let me see how I do with that. But I did let them know that I was open to getting an epidural. Okay, so the contractions, that medication didn't help that much, but they were doing something. And then I asked for a bedpan so that I can pee. Well, I sat down on the bedpan, like they helped lift me up, and I think I was able to pee a little bit, but my contractions started to go crazy and the nurse started to freak out and the baby's the baby's heart rate dropped, all while I'm sitting on this bedpan. So she calls in the doctors. Oh, I forgot to mention, my doctor did not deliver my baby. He, I guess, wasn't working. And when he doesn't work, he just has the on-staff doctors deliver babies, which was fine with me. I did not care who delivered my baby. I did not care. And I didn't feel too good about him anyways. He was nice, but I didn't feel like he needed to deliver my baby. So the nurse called in all of the doctors. It was like 2 doctors, a student doctor, and then a bunch of nurses. So the room was filled. They were all seemed to be in a panic. I was drugged, so I remained calm. Braylon was calm, out, like, you know, he appeared calm. They told me to get down on all fours, and they started to call to get the OR ready for me to have an emergency C-section. So, and they also called for the epidural so that I could prep for the C-section. So they told me to get on all fours. They told me that they were gonna give me 2 shots in my arms to slow my contractions down because they were happening 2 back to back and it was putting the baby in distress. They took out the balloon and then they broke my water, I believe. So all that was done in a rush, and then they sat me back down and called in the anesthesiologist. And I don't know the timeline, but the anesthesiologist came, they took off all my jewelry, and they rushed and gave me my epidural, and the baby started to cooperate. I don't know what is going on with my camera, but it did it again. It's overheating. But where was I? Yeah. So actually, I don't think that time that they came in, they broke my water yet. But the baby started cooperating. They took out the, you know, like I said, they gave me the 2 shots to slow down my contractions. They took out the balloon. They took out the balloon and they gave me the epidural. So I finally felt some relief from the contractions and was able to get some rest. And then I woke up to, oh, they also said that I was not allowed to lay on my left side because when I would lay on my left side, the baby's heart rate would drop. I don't know why, but his heart rate would drop. So no. So yeah, okay. So I was, no, that's not what I meant. So yeah, so then the baby started cooperating. Everything was going fine. I don't know how many hours passed or how much time passed. I ended up having to get the catheter, obviously, because I got the epidural. So that was fine. The catheter really wasn't that bad. And everything was good. The epidural, it kind of was working, but I didn't feel much relief. But it was better than than not having anything. But I wasn't like completely numb. Like I could feel the contractions. Then it happened again. The baby's heart rate started to drop. Everybody ran in again. Everybody said that get the OR ready. They told me to get down on all fours. They gave me shots again to still my contractions. I guess I was contracting 2 back to back again, and my hair is still wet from last night. And this time they broke my water. So I was like, okay, he started cooperating again. I was like, okay, let me get some rest. They left me alone. Everything was fine. I fell asleep on my right side because I wasn't allowed to be on my left anymore. Then I woke up to painful contractions on my left side because my left side had complete feeling in it. The epidural was only on my right side. My right side was almost completely numb and my left side felt everything. And I started feeling pressure. I started feeling a lot of pressure. And I was like, I think the baby is coming. And we called the nurse in and I asked her to check me. And she was like, you're 9 centimeters dilated. And I said, this baby is coming. And she was like, no, you need to hold this baby in. You need to hold this baby in because the doctor is currently delivering another baby. I was like, how the hell am I supposed to hold a baby in? And I said, and I can feel everything on my right side. I'm sorry, on my left side. And I was like, and then that's when she let me know that I could have been pressing the button. So I kept pressing the button to try and get more medicine, more fentanyl into my system to help numb my body. And I begged, I said, can I please turn to my other side and we'll monitor his heart rate. So I remember I asked the nurse, I said, can I please lay down on my left side so I can let the medicine flow to that side? And she was like, okay, I'll just watch his heart rate. And then of course his heart rate started to drop again, and I was like, okay. And as soon as I moved to my left side, his heart rate was fine. So I'm going crazy trying to hold in this baby. I felt like this baby was about to fly out, okay? But she was like, hold it in. So I'm just like trying to breathe through and like keep this baby in me. That was like one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, was try to keep the baby in. So she said I can sit flat. I didn't lay back flat. I didn't have to be turned to my right. I kept pushing the button for the fentanyl, and my epidural started to kick in a little bit on the opposite side. So finally the doctor came in, and because I was given that shot to slow down my contractions were a little bit delayed. I felt like they weren't as fast as they normally would have been during the pushing process, but that feeling that he was going to come out by himself had started to go away because the epidural also was kicking in. So it took me about 15 minutes to push him out, and he came out, what time was it? I don't even remember what time he was born, but he came out, and I got one good look at him. You know, they plopped him on my chest, and I looked at him, and I just had this horrible, I thought I was recording, but I wasn't, but my camera overheated again. But I was just saying that, okay, he was born and they put him on my chest, and I had just like this sinking feeling, like I knew he just did not look healthy to me. He looked emaciated, and he was tiny. He was so tiny. And they took him from me, and they started to clean him up. And at this point, I'm not on the magnesium drip. They took me off the magnesium drip in order to deliver him. But I'm still like kind of loopy, but I'm more with it. Like, I'm very aware of what's going on at this point. And I see him, and I just know, like, okay, he's not looking his best. Like, he's crying, yes, he's breathing, like, he's alive. And I feel all that rush of love, like, you know. But I was just, my heart was like breaking. I felt him, and he was just skin and bone. You know, he had like no fat. He just looked skinny. And if you look up my shorts, I think I have his like before and after up, where you can see him in the NICU. You can see how tiny he was. So anyways, they take him, they clean him up. Bray's over there, he's taking pictures, and they say, yep, he's way too small. Like, they weigh him, measure him, they say, yep, he's way too small, we're gonna have to take him right to the NICU. And I just wanted to break down right then and there, but I held it together. Somehow I did not cry through this. I have no idea why, because I'm an emotional person. But yeah, they said we're gonna have to take him. They wrapped him up, and they said, here, take some pictures. They grabbed our camera, they took pictures of us three, and then they took him away, and they said, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to take him to the NICU, and we're gonna have to put you back on magnesium. So, and you're gonna have to stay on magnesium. You're gonna have to stay on magnesium for the next 24 hours. So what that meant was I was not allowed to leave the room for 24 hours. I was completely drugged, just in bed, hooked up on bed rest with those things on my leg while my baby was in the NICU, and I felt like I only saw him for a split second. I only had a tiny short window to just remember his face, and then he was taken to NICU. So luckily, Bray was able to go to the NICU. He spent the night with him. But that meant that I had to spend the night in the hospital alone by myself. I just told him, I was like, as my push gift, please give me 2 peanut M&Ms, 2 bags of peanut. And I said, just bring me a bag of peanut M&Ms. And yeah, he brought me 2 bags of peanut M&Ms from the vending machine. And it's funny because I don't eat peanut M&Ms because they have dairy in it and they have horrible ingredients. But I was like, I'm gonna treat myself. So, you know, my intention was to breastfeed right away, do skin to skin right away. Like, my whole plan had gone out the window. I was expecting my first 24 hours after birth to be able to hold my baby and just, like, you know, stare at his little face and, like, you know, see who I had been carrying for the past 9 months, for the past 37 weeks. And yeah, so that was really tough. So I got back, I think I had him around 5 p.m. I was put back on the magnesium drip around 6, so I wasn't allowed to get off the magnesium drip until 6 p.m. the following day. So right when it was time for me to get off the drip, I was like, take me to the NICU. So Braylon wheeled me down to the NICU, and I saw him, and he was so tiny but so beautiful and still looked so perfect, but he was all hooked up. So he had to go to the NICU because, 1, he could not maintain his body weight. He could not maintain his blood sugar levels. 2, he could not maintain his body temperature because he had no fat. And 3, he had too much magnesium in his system as well. So he was completely loopy and out of it like I was. So we had to wait for his magnesium levels to drop. So he was in the NICU for 10 long days, the longest 10 days of my life. When they moved us to the mommy and baby unit, and they had an empty bassinet in there, that completely broke me, and that was so hard. And then when I got discharged that night, it was, yeah, that was a lot. And then trying to go to sleep in my own bed without him was tough. But during those 10 days, I spent as much time in the NICU as possible. Yeah, we never wanted to leave him, and we were so excited when we finally got to take him home. But my camera is about to die. I wanted to tell you a birth story, but I'll have to finish that later on. Probably tomorrow. I'll just put a timestamp and show you so you can compare the 2 birth stories and see how different they were or how similar, whatever. But yeah, I will talk to you guys later. I'm gonna let my camera cool down and I'm gonna charge it, and I'm gonna see what's going on. I'm trying to Google what's going on with my camera. Hopefully it can be saved. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. All right, we're about to head out. Aura, show them your outfit. Let me see. Your hair. This is her first time rocking a ponytail. Bray Bray sporting his new haircut that I gave him last night, randomly, because...
How about that? Check out Daddy.
There's Daddy, dressed like a
like
dad, of course. And then there's Mommy, dressed like a dad. Because all the clothes that fit me are currently dirty, so... Or in the washing machine.
Those are Daddy clothes.
So I'm wearing Daddy's clothes.
Come on, Ori. Come on, baby.
Bray Bray, I like your new outfit. Walmart. Aura too. Got a new outfit from Walmart. Alright, I'll see y'all a little bit later. It's currently Wednesday. It's 4:15 in the afternoon. I just left my doctor's appointment. Just my regular OB checkup. I go every 2 weeks now, so everything looked good. I got to see the baby on the ultrasound really quick. She said my placenta looks good. Baby looks healthy. Heart looks good. She said she looks like she has big cheeks and that she might look like my husband. Another baby looking like my husband. Another girl looking like my husband. I want this one to come out looking like me. But if she comes out looking like Aura, that's fine because Aura is too cute. But yeah, so the appointment went well. She said that my high-risk doctor will be the one that determines when I give birth. So if my doctor says I can make it to 40 weeks, then I'll be able to go to 40 weeks. So we'll see, as long as this baby girl cooperates. So far, this has been my healthiest baby, my healthiest pregnancy. And yeah, I'm just ready for this pregnancy to be over. I'm ready for baby girl to get here. So yeah, I'm gonna start heading home, but I wanted to talk about, I never got to finish my second pregnancy experience, like birth experience, labor, all that. So a backstory for my second pregnancy with Aura, my baby girl, found out I was pregnant like 7 or 8 months postpartum. I forget what it was exactly. I think it was about 7 months postpartum with Bray Bray. I found out I was pregnant and I was completely shocked. I did not expect to get pregnant that soon. So I found out I was pregnant, and I think I found out about 4 weeks pregnant. And I think I started feeling sick around the 8-week mark. And with that pregnancy, I had the nausea, I had the food aversions, just like with my first and this pregnancy, but it wasn't as severe as my first, and definitely not as severe as this pregnancy. But I did definitely have a hard time with the first trimester symptoms. So that pregnancy, everything was going pretty smooth. Besides that, with this pregnancy is when they finally decided to treat me for hyperthyroidism. So they tested my blood, my levels with my second pregnancy in my first trimester, and my levels were elevated. So they sent me to an endocrinologist and they put me on methimazole. I was medicated for that pregnancy as well, just like this pregnancy. So I was seen by an endocrinologist, my high-risk doctor, and my OB, just like I am with this third pregnancy. So with the high-risk doctor, everything was basically following the same trajectory as my first pregnancy, where my baby was measuring perfect at first, and then around that same week that I had started measuring small with my first pregnancy, or started measuring small, but she was slightly bigger. I was really good about eating and taking protein supplements, so I feel like she was doing a lot better than Bray Bray was doing. And I was medicated, so that was helping with her growth. I think that played a big factor in that. My blood pressure was never elevated this entire pregnancy. It stayed completely normal. And then I remember going in to my 38-week appointment. Actually, I was like 37 weeks and some days, and I went to my regular OB, but I saw one of the other doctors. I didn't see my usual doctor. This was like my first time seeing this doctor, and she was extremely sick. This was on like a Thursday. She was extremely sick, coughing, sneezing, and she had a mask on, eyes watering. She looked a mess, but she had a mask on, and she came in to see me really quick, and she was very close to me, you know, checking my belly and everything, and coughing. Now, she did have a mask on, but it was just one of those thin little, you know, masks that don't do a damn thing. So she's just coughing, coughing, coughing. And I had heard her walking up and down the hall coughing, and I was wondering who that was. And then when she came in, I was like, oh no, it's her. I'm like, this lady better not get me sick. Well, yeah, I ended up feeling sick. About 3 days later, I started to have some mild symptoms, like mild cold symptoms. And then by like that 5-day mark, I had full blown cold symptoms, like headache, stuffy nose, sneezing, no coughing, just all nasal congestion. So by the time I went to go see my high-risk doctor, it was Thursday. So exactly a week had gone by since I had went to go see my regular OB. And that morning I had a horrible, horrible headache. My nose was running slightly, but nothing like crazy. I did sneeze, but I'm thinking this is allergies. So I was treating it like allergies. Like, it's like I didn't want to believe that lady really got me sick. So, I just put a mask on, an N95 mask on, and I went to my appointment. So at the appointment, my blood pressure, I had a horrible headache and my blood pressure was elevated. And when they did my ultrasound, they said that my circulation from my placenta to the baby through the umbilical cord, it wasn't looking too good. And she was like, well, you're about to be 38 weeks tomorrow. We're just going to go ahead and induce you today. So go home, pack your things, and go to the hospital. Be there by 7:30. So my mom came, stayed with Bray Bray, and we went to the hospital. And this was a different hospital than the one that I gave birth to my first baby. This one was a little bit further, and I wasn't as familiar with this hospital. But when I got there is when I realized, like, this is not going to be a smooth experience. That hospital was a mess. So when you are in labor, in order to get sent to labor and delivery, you have to go through the ER. So you're in there with all types of people, and this ER waiting room was extremely small. Okay, so like there was no seating. We were pretty much just standing and waiting. But because I was pregnant and I had a scheduled induction, they tried to get me back there as fast as possible, and they were concerned about my headache. So at this point, my main symptom is just my headache. My head is pounding and I cannot breathe through my nose. So I am absolutely miserable. I'm not feeling any contractions or anything like that. Like, I don't think I was dilated at all. Like, nothing like that. But my head was absolutely pounding. So when I went, they checked me. My blood pressure was still slightly elevated, but nothing to be concerned about. I finally was sent to the labor and delivery, but we were sent to triage, and we were stuck in triage for several hours. We probably made it to triage by like 8:30, and we didn't get into a delivery room for induction until probably like, I'd say after 10:30, maybe before 11, between 10 and 11 p.m. Finally made it to labor and delivery, into a delivery room. So during that time I was in triage. All they can do was give me a wet rag to put on my head to help with the headache, and they just kept checking my blood pressure, and they called in to give me like pain medication, like Tylenol or something for my head. Then the on-staff OB came in and told me that because I had a headache and because I had preeclampsia with my first baby, that they were going to put me on a magnesium drip again. So I was a little bit devastated, but you know what? I was like, this is all I know at this point. This is how my labors go. So, at least I knew what to expect this time. So when I get into the delivery room, they put me on a magnesium drip and they give me fluids, they give me IV, and it started to help relieve my headache. They started my induction with Pitocin, I think around midnight, and told me that I can get an epidural around 3 a.m. Now this delivery was, for some reason, even though this was more recent, it was much more of a blur. So like my timing and everything is a bit off. I remember begging for the nurse to ask the doctor to order me some type of nasal spray so I can get some type of relief to help me breathe through these contractions, because I could not breathe through my nose at all. I was so miserable. My nose was just running and I could not breathe. breathe. And I was like, please just order me some type of nasal spray to help so I can at least breathe through these contractions, because these contractions were so intense. I don't remember how soon the super intense contractions started, but I feel like I was contracting for a long time. So finally, my nasal spray got ordered in the middle of the night, like early morning. 3 a.m. came and I was like, where is my epidural? And then she was like, we're just waiting for your labs to come back and then you can get your epidural. Your labs are still not back. And I'm like, okay, fine. They didn't offer me any pain meds, nothing like they did the first pregnancy. So I'm just on Pitocin. I'm on this magnesium drip. I cannot move. I cannot breathe. My headache was gone. And they gave me my nasal spray. It was just a regular saline spray, but it actually did help. I don't know if it was just my symptoms going away or if it did help. But yeah, around the time that I started using the nasal spray, I could start breathing again. So I'm just breathing through the contractions, I'm not speaking to my husband at all. At this point, I'm not even looking at him because I was in so much pain. I didn't understand how I could be in that amount of pain and still be alive. It was the most painful thing I have ever experienced. So 3 a.m. passes, I didn't get my epidural. 4 a.m. passes, I didn't, nothing. 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11, I am begging for this epidural. I don't know if it sounded like I was begging or if this was just all in my head, because like I said, I'm on magnesium, so I'm completely out of it. It's so hard to advocate for myself. I'm barely speaking. I'm just trying to breathe through these contractions. So finally, at 11 a.m., the nurse comes in and she says, okay, we're gonna order your epidural. I am so exhausted at this point. I remember looking over at Bray and he had like a smile on his face and I was like, oh hell no, what the hell are you smiling at? Like, do not talk to me, do not touch me. I was just like, no, I was just in my own little world suffering. Okay, so finally the epidural comes probably around like 11:30, 11:45, like around there, and I'm having horrible contractions through it, but I'm trying not to move because I don't want to get paralyzed. I don't know what type of complications happen if I move during this damn epidural. So I get my epidural, I lay back down, and I get one contraction and it's still strong, and I'm like, oh my god, this epidural is not working. I get another contraction and it's like it's starting to, you know. Oh, let me backtrack. So 11 o'clock comes around, right? When 11 o'clock came around, the doctor comes in and I say, can I have an epidural, please? Like, I'm having these contractions back to back. And she's like, no, you're not having back to back contractions. She's like, your contractions are still very spaced out. And as she's talking to me, I'm contracting and then contracting again. And she's starting to look at the paper and she's like, oh my God, no, your contractions are back to back. So I'm thinking, and she's rarely coming in to look and check on me. So I'm thinking that she's watching me at the nurse's station. I don't know whose contractions she was watching, but they were not mine because my contractions were back to back to back to back. It felt like no break. So that's when she was like, oh, okay, let me order your epidural. Okay, so I get my epidural. Like I said, my contraction, I feel one contraction, it hurts. Second contraction, I feel a little bit of relief. Third contraction, a little bit of relief, but I'm feeling these contractions still. I call the nurse and I'm just like, I still feel these contractions, like they hurt, like how long does it take? Oh, she was like, oh, let me contact the anesthesiologist and see if they can up your whatever, your dose. See if they can, I don't know what that means. But she said, see if they can do something because I still felt these contractions. So I was probably like 3-4 contractions in and I started feeling this baby coming. No lie, I felt the pressure down there. I had just gone through this a year and a half ago. So I know what it felt like. And I called her in there and I said, the baby's coming. And she was like, no. She's like, let me check you. And she checked me and she's like, oh, you're 9 centimeters dilated. Let me call your doctor. So she leaves and calls my doctor, comes back in to check on me, and I said, this baby is coming right now. And literally like 30 seconds later, she was catching my baby. I did not push or out. She flew out. I probably gave one good squeeze and that baby was out. The nurse had to catch my baby because nobody was checking on me. Nobody was believing me. Like, I'm trying to tell them I am in pain. Like, this baby is coming and everybody is just going so slow. Oh, I dropped it off. But yeah, nobody was checking on me. I felt like I was forgotten. And the nurse caught my baby and said, oh, it's okay. I used to do this a lot back where I'm from. Oh, lady. So yeah, my baby came, then they called everybody in. The first thing I noticed when I saw my baby was that she looked just like her brother. She looked just like Bray Bray, just like him. I could not believe it. I was like, did I just have the same baby twice? But I could also tell that she was bigger than my first, because yes, she was tiny, yes, she was skinny, but she didn't look as emaciated as my first baby did. So luckily, she did not have to do a NICU stay. I was so happy I got to keep her. But I forgot to mention that while I was in labor, my mom was calling me, telling me that Bray Bray was... Did I even say that when I was in... Oh my gosh. When I forgot to mention one of the biggest parts. When I went to triage and they tested me for COVID... I tested positive for COVID. I literally, when I went to triage and I was waiting to be sent to the delivery room, I tested positive from COVID. So I had caught COVID from my doctor, because she clearly got me sick. Because I had been around nobody else. That was the only sick person I had been around. And you know, I'm at the end of my pregnancy. I ain't going nowhere. My husband ain't going nowhere. I literally got it from my doctor's office. So yeah, I had COVID. So while I was in labor, how could I forget to mention that? But while I was in labor, Bray Bray started having COVID symptoms. My baby has never been sick. So the first time my baby ever got sick, I was not even home to take care of him. He had a fever, and my mom was calling me, trying to set up a telehealth call in the middle of the night with his doctor, because they're like 24 hours. And we could not figure out the Wi-Fi passcode. She couldn't figure out how to log in and do the telehealth call. So like we were going back and forth while I'm having these horrible, painful contractions, because Bray, he didn't know. Yeah, and I was just so worried sick about my baby being sick and having a fever, and there was nothing I could do. But luckily by that morning he started feeling a lot better. So with this birth, like before, the magnesium drip, you do have to take it for 48 hours. So after delivery they did put me back on the magnesium drip, but I got to keep my baby this time because Braylon stayed with me and he helped bring the baby to me, and I was able to breastfeed. She latched right away. She figured it out. Like she just got it, and I just got it because this is my second time now. So I knew what I was doing. I was already in complete baby mode. So even though I was completely drugged, like we figured it out. The pediatrician came in, looked at her, examined her, and they were like, I think you got your dates wrong. This baby is measuring at 36 weeks. And I was like thinking to myself, I'm out of that, but I'm like, okay, no, my dates are not wrong. My baby has IUGR. Like, shouldn't they know these things? Like, isn't that in my notes somewhere that my babies have IUGR? But anyways, she was born and she was 5 pounds 6 ounces. So she was over a full pound heavier than Bray Bray. So that's why she didn't have to go to the NICU. She was doing absolutely fine, but she did look like a 36-week baby. She did look underdeveloped. Still cute as a button, but she looked underdeveloped. But yeah, so Bray was able to help, you know, get her in and out of the bassinet, and I was able to breastfeed her. But then Bray started to panic because he started to feel COVID symptoms too. So as soon as I got off the magnesium drip, he was allowed to leave, because if he was to leave while I was on magnesium, they would have had to take my baby to the nursery. I wouldn't be able to breastfeed her and care for her. So he stayed up until I was off the drip. Then they had moved me to, and I'm quarantined this whole time because obviously I have COVID. So we're put in these special rooms with like double doors. Like, yeah, like it was crazy. So we couldn't have guests, which was absolutely fine because it's a lot going on. I'd rather just be by myself in those moments. But yeah, so he left to go relieve my mom and take care of Bray Bray, but he was sick with COVID too. But luckily he just felt symptoms that night, and he was scared that he was gonna get the baby sick. But I'm like, I had COVID while I was pregnant with this baby. Like, she's not going to get sick. And by the time I gave birth to her, my symptoms... Okay, so my camera keeps overheating, but I think the last thing I said was that Bray had COVID symptoms, so he ended up leaving me and the baby and going back to the house to take care of Bray Bray. My COVID symptoms had left, so I felt 100%. After birth, I felt so good. I was just excited to be off of the magnesium. They had transferred me into the mommy and baby unit, and it was just me and Aura. She was doing really good with latching. The lactation consultant will come in and out and check on us, but she was doing really, really good. I felt really good. I felt so good to the point that when I had woke up that morning and I was waiting for Bray to come back so that we could be discharged, I literally woke up and cleaned the entire room. I like packed up all my things. I was putting stuff away, cleaning, packing up, like taking all the free stuff. Like, I felt so good. I was so excited to have my baby. It was just such a different experience because I got to be with her and take her home. So I was so happy. I was so excited to be able to be with her. I was sad that Bray had to leave me that night, but I was happy that he was home because he had COVID and he, you know, was taking care of Bray. So yeah, that birth experience was definitely something. It was definitely something. She came, you know, super quick. There was really no pushing. The contractions were painful as hell, but it was all worth it in the end. So we'll see how this one goes. We'll see how this labor goes. This time around.
Mama.
You said hi? You're so dramatic. But yeah, we'll see how this labor goes this time around, but that one was something. Definitely not as eventful as Bray's because, you know, his was extremely stressful, but we'll see if this time around they'll make me go on the magnesium drip. Hopefully my blood pressure is good this entire pregnancy, and during delivery I'm able to be, you know, with it, clear-headed, like be able to advocate for myself better, because when you're under the influence, like, you're not saying much, you're not advocating for yourself, you don't know what's going on around you, like time is flying and you're just in there suffering. And yeah, I just wasn't able to advocate for myself like I would have wanted to. So yeah, but I'm glad my baby's here and she was healthy. She gained weight perfectly after, and now she is in the 50th percentile for everything. She's literally average size. So Bray is still small, but Aura, yeah, but he's not small enough for it to be of any concern. But yeah, Aura is my solid little baby. She'd been breastfeeding since out of the womb, and she was way easier to push out. But I think I'm going to end the vlog right here. Yeah, I'm gonna end the vlog right here, and I will see you in the next video. Please, if you made it to the end of this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would help my channel out a lot. I'm trying to get these vlogs out. The editing is kicking my butt, but yeah, I'm gonna get better. But yeah, thank you for watching. Say bye-bye, guys.